Our constitution recognizes how many types of minorities?
Recently, snow leopards were in news. Are you aware with this?
Recently, it has been witnessed that the man-animal conflict in Uttarakhand is increasing. Can you tell us the reason behind? What are the major reasons?
May I come in, sir?
Please come in.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
Daksh,
Yes,
are you comfortable?
yes, sir. Come.
So Daksh, would you like your interview to be in English or Hindi?
Sir, I would prefer English.
Prefer English. So please introduce yourself to the board.
Sir, I am Daksh Aukan. I have come from Ghaziabad district of Uttar Pradesh. I have done my graduation as BTech from Mechanical Engineering from Delhi Technological University. Currently, I am working in National Minorities Development and Finance Corporation. It is a central PSU under Ministry of Minority Affairs. So basically, we have been tasked in public procurement and government e-marketplace portal there. So, and my hobby is personal interest lies in knowing more about wildlife, especially big cats.
Okay. So Daksh, do you want to add something more?
No, sir.
Okay. So you are now working with minority.
National Minorities Development and Finance Corporation.
Okay. And this is a PSU.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And like you have reached there on the basis of your mechanical engineering qualification?
No, sir. It was an independent exam, not based on mechanical, but general graduation.
General graduation. Okay. But you have done your mechanical engineering from a prestigious institution, DTU.
Yes, sir.
So do you think it's the right use of your talent?
Sir, I think so. When I was pursuing my mechanical engineering, my teachers and my parents motivated me to pursue the civil services career. I also get to know more about during the college years. So I decided to pursue in civil services. And
Okay.
during the time, I got a opportunity in National Minorities Development.
Right. So what is your job profile there?
I am posted as supervisor administration department. I basically takes charge of public procurement in the office, the government e-marketplace model, the event management, all the event management.
What is GEM?
GEM is a government e-marketplace. This is a model. This has been developed by the government as a marketplace model where all the sellers and the buyers are generally from government departments and ministries, can participate and bring in more transparency and accountability in the
And the
procurement.
private parties can also participate in the process?
Private parties can be acted as sellers, but not the buyers. Only government departments are the
Right.
buyers.
And since you're working in the minorities fund, so tell me how many minorities are there?
Sir, central government has notified 6 minority communities: Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists, Parsis, and later on Jains were also added.
Okay. And when were the Jains added?
Sir, 2014.
2014. Okay. Now, when we talk about minorities, so recently a law has been passed, that is the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, and there has been a lot of controversy surrounding it. So the government has its viewpoint, but the protesters are also having some issues with it. What is your view on this?
Sir, I think so. The Citizenship Amendment Act has been made to grant citizenship for the persecuted minorities in the neighboring countries.
How many countries?
Sir, 3.
3 countries.
So I think so. This is a nice step in the direction because India has always been welcome to the persecuted people around the world. So it will be helpful in them. Also,
Can you tell me what is the controversy behind it? Like why the people are protesting against it?
Sir, they think that it will legitimize the illegal migrants or the thing or such people, and maybe also some are alleging that it will hamper the security situation in the country. So, but I think they are already living in the country. However, more modifications, and they are also protesting that it is
Okay, our constitution recognizes how many types of minorities?
Sir, constitution basically deals in religious and linguistic types of minority.
Okay. And these 2 types of minorities, they are recognized at national level or state level?
Sir, national level, religious minorities have been notified by the national level, and also linguistic have been also identified at the central level.
At the national level?
At
Are
the
you sure?
because there is, I am not sure, but I think there is a commissioner for linguistic minorities, but I do not know, sir, exactly how they are dealt at the state and national.
Okay. My final question for now, that is, you are a mechanical engineer. So nowadays we are seeing a lot of talk about electric vehicles, right? And they are being said to be like causing very less pollution, if any. But as a mechanical engineer, you tell me, are they really pollution free, or are they just transferring where the pollution is happening?
So, although manufacturing them also includes the production process, also includes carbon emissions, and it is also, but overall when we see, because it will reduce to lesser pollution on the vehicle, especially when there is congestion. The more vehicular pollution leads when there is congestion on the roads. So on the burning process, diesel and petrol burning process, but whenever there is congestion and electric
But
vehicles,
from where the electricity is coming to charge these vehicles?
so yes sir, basically more than 50% of India, only more than 50% is sourced from coal. But however, government is also focusing side by side to shift towards renewable energy. So I think so both the things will complement
Thank
and
you,
need
Daksh.
to go.
Daksh,
Yes.
so you are a mechanical engineer, right? And you also have an interest in wildlife, especially the big cats.
Yes.
Great. So how have you developed this hobby, this liking?
Then when I was starting from when I was a kid, my parents were very interested in wildlife and these big cats, and they used to take me to Jim Corbett National Park. They showed me TV documentaries and the shows coming on Net Geo Wildlife. So slowly
So since you are interested in big cats, so how do you keep a tap on their news and their recent developments? Can you show us, tell us something?
Ma'am, I see the national programs, on the National Geographic and the Discovery channels. I also see the latest news.
Okay. Recently, snow leopards were in news. Are you aware with this?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm not aware why they were in news at the moment, but I know about snow leopard.
Then how do you pursue your interest in big cats? What are the things you know and you would like to enlighten us also?
I visit the national parks. I have visited Corbett.
Which national parks other than Corbett?
I have also been to Bandhavgarh National Park, Ranthambore, Sariska is there. But majorly we have been a regular visitor to.
Is there any UNESCO heritage site there in Uttarakhand?
Yes, ma'am. This Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve and the Valley of Flowers combiningly forms the UNESCO Bioheritage Site.
And any other wildlife reserve which is located at the border of the India and China?
I do not know exactly which one is there, but there are certain, like Gangotri National Park is there.
Okay. So has the number of these snow leopards have increased, or it has come down, that it's a matter of concern?
Exactly.
You're not aware, you haven't kept it up. Okay. Tell me, Daksh, the role of local communities are also very important, in conserving our wildlife, right? You agree to this?
Yes.
So tell me how they are conserving the wildlives and why they are important, these local communities, the tribal communities per se, right?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I think so they are more important because of the two factors. Firstly, they are directly conserving them. Many of the villages in the local villages of especially Uttarakhand, they see the big cats like the leopard as a divine figure. They relate to their religions or local culture. So they directly try to protect, although there are also conflicts, but they try to protect them. Or indirectly, because their lifestyle and all the things are dependent on the ecology, the forest there, they conserve the ecology, and they understand that these big cats are the conserver and the flagship species of such forests. So if they are going to conserve the big cats, protect these, the whole ecosystem will be protected, and ultimately they will only benefit from such.
Okay, can you name two communities which are actually residing in Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve, and their role is really cardinal in preserving the wildlife and other creatures also there?
Ma'am, I do not know about exactly in the Nanda Devi, but I know that the communities like Bhotiyas and Buksas, they are residing in the forest areas of Uttarakhand.
Okay, fine. Daksh, you must have heard of UCC, right? What it is?
Ma'am, it is a uniform civil code, this is a common civil code for personal matters for all the residents.
Correct. And what is the status of Uttarakhand at present?
Ma'am, it has implemented the UCC for all its citizens, and it has various features like it has.
Fine. So tell me that why tribal communities are exempted from this. Are they exempted?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So why are they exempted from UCC?
Ma'am, they have been exempted so as to protect and conserve their independent cultural identity, because the tribals have been most concerned about their identity and their local customs and their local traditions. So this has been made in view of conserving them and giving them a sense of belongingness and a sense of goodwill. So they have been to preserve their culture basically and identity.
Do you think that this live-in relationship is part of our culture?
Ma'am, although culture is an evolving term, I think so. This in the modern times, live-in is there. So by legitimizing it and giving.
No, I'm saying, do you think that this live-in relationship culture, it's very much part of our own Indian culture?
Ma'am, as far as I know, from the earlier times, I do not think it was the much of the part, but in today's time, it has become an integrated part and a reality.
But Daksh, I could see that your optional in various exams have been sociology, and you must have read about tribes and local communities of various regions, that they practice the concept of visiting husband as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Local various communities and the local tribals have been practicing such practice, and there have been certain different practices all over the India.
So, is it a takeaway relationship? Have we taken this concept from them only?
Might be possible, ma'am, but although I think so, the values, these things are dependent on the situations, the economy, and various other things.
Fine, Daksh. You think over it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, Daksh. कैसे हैं आप?
बढ़िया सर.
Daksh, what makes you so sure that you are coming from a plain area, plain geography, and you can serve the mountainous terrain very well?
Sir, I think so. A better understanding there when I'll start working there. A better understanding. I'll take a good look and better understanding. So I'll be able to contribute to them also, and also take care of can take the examples when I'm residing in a plain area. I have seen the urban management, the urban planning, the other infrastructural developments that have been more here than the hilly areas. So we can use these examples and knowledge here for the inclusive growth there. So
do you think that implementing the same kind of urbanization practices in mountainous area will make it a sustainable development?
No, sir, not the exact and the same kind. However, ideas can be taken. We can see we should not take the exact model and replicate there. However, we can take the idea, take the inspiration, and accordingly see for the local needs, and accordingly build a sustainable growth model suitable for the hilly regions and the communities as well as there.
Okay. Recently, it has been witnessed that the man-animal conflict in Uttarakhand is increasing.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us the reason behind? What are the major reasons?
Sir, major reason, the most important reason is the habitat encroachment. The humans are encroaching on the wildlife areas, the protected areas, the people where the wildlife lives. So there is bound to increase the developmental projects that are transgressing the wildlife corridors, and so this is bound to increase the interaction between the human and wildlife, and certainly the conflict will also be there.
Okay, recently the Supreme Court said that we should stop the recent construction in Jim Corbett National Parks.
Yes.
Fine. So how do you see that both development, ecotourism and conservation of wildlife go all together?
Sir, I think so. The Supreme Court has also mentioned that I think that is a very good approach. Ki you should not go for anthropocentrism, but the main focus should be on ecocentrism. Although we are developing tourism and revenues, ecotourism around the protected areas, but it should be, the first priority should not be the revenue, however with the protection of the wildlife and conservation areas. Such activities should be promoted, but not to generate revenue, but to increase the knowledge and the awareness among the population. Also, this can help to increase the local employment opportunities for the people. Like the local people are acting like gypsy drivers, tourist guides there, and working with the forest department. So a sustainable model which is taking into account the protected areas rights also, so will help in an inclusive and sustainable development.
Okay, you have a unique hobby of learning about more big cats.
Yes, sir.
Recently, a Texas-based research institute came up that they can recreate Tasmanian tigers. Do you think that recreation of extincted species
Yes, sir.
will work in more conservation methods?
Sir, I think so. More research should be there, and specifically, but overall, as far the factors I know, I do not think that this should be a step, as we should let the nature decide its role, its own way, and not create another species or revive certain species. And although we can certainly work towards any changes that have been brought by the humans, and if we can reverse those negative changes, we can, like the 3D printed reefs are being used, so we can do there. But if the species has become extinct due to its natural reasons, I think so we should not go towards reviving it, so it might disturb the ecological balance that have naturally.
Fine. That's my last question from you, as you are a mechanical engineer. What is a rocker arm?
Sir, at the moment I am not aware of the rocker.
Okay, thank you.
Daksh,
Yes.
what do you understand by the term state funding of elections and why it is important?
So state funding of elections is key. The state only provides for the election expenditure and supports the election of expenditures of the various political parties, and those are participating in the elections.
Do you think it will help, or do you think it is viable for a poor country like India?
Sir, at the moment, I think so it will put strains on the government. The developing needs of the India is also very much. However, we can start on a small basis so that we can get a level playing field for the smaller parties, smaller independent candidates.
What has the Supreme Court said about the electoral bonds? Why Supreme Court held them to be unconstitutional?
So Supreme Court basically got to the point this was not a transparent but a opaque practice, and it might have led to corrupt practices, and so they basically said the electorals have the right to know about who is funding their representatives or their political parties who are going to represent.
But what about the right to privacy of the donor?
So right to privacy of the donor is also there, and it is also paramount. But however, I think when it is concerned about public representatives and the people who are the public office holders, the political parties that are going to represent the millions, I think so transparency takes a bigger role.
Right. Okay. What do you understand by VPN? These days, this term is very much in news. Virtual private network. What exactly is it?
Sir, exactly. Overall, I know superficially that it is a private network developed to bypass the general communication guidelines. So basically, it can be used for security matters also. And however, we have seen, like in the recent terror attack, that it was used by some for illegal activities to bypass the surveillance.
Okay. And what is fintech?
Fintech is financial technology in the financial sector. For the financial purposes.
Can you give me some examples?
Sir, for the fintech, I think so, sir, this mobile bankings and internet bankings and other apps and certain developmental models, AI models have been created for protection of financial rankings and other things.
Okay. Daksh, there has been a lot of controversy about the election commission and its working. So Supreme Court had come out with a ruling on this, that there should be a committee which should be recommending the names for appointment to Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners.
Yes.
Right. And then the government has also come out with a law which has changed the composition of that committee.
Yes.
Now you tell me, according to you, which committee was better or is better?
Sir, I think so. The present committee formed by the government can be improved further, and the Supreme Court's one was a little more transparent and more representative, because it included the judicial side also, and currently the formed by this new Amendment Act includes the Prime Minister and the one leader of opposition and one cabinet minister only appointed by the Prime Minister. So this leads to a lesser representative and more executive options.
But don't you think that in a democracy the opposition should have its say, but the government must have its say?
But sir, I think so opposition should be strengthened, and also in a democracy that it is the will of the people, the popular sovereignty, and there should be checks and balances also.
Okay. दक्ष, अब मेरा आखिरी सवाल आपसे ये है कि मान लेते हैं कि आपका चयन सिविल सेवा में हो गया, उत्तराखंड की सिविल सेवा में, अब वहाँ अब आपको एक चयन करना है, ठीक है, एक पोजीशन के लिए, और जिसमें कि इम्पार्शियलिटी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट, कि मतलब उनको ऐसे निर्णय लेने पड़ेंगे उस पोजीशन में कि जहाँ इम्पार्शियल रहना बहुत ज़रूरी है। आपने सारे टेस्ट करवाए, आपके पास अंत में 2 कैंडिडेट बचते हैं, ठीक है, जो हर पैरामीटर में, यानी कि जो भी टेस्ट आप कराएंगे उसमें वो बराबर हैं।
जी सर।
सिर्फ उनमें जो डिफरेंस है वो ये है कि एक वहाँ के स्थानीय निवासी हैं, यानी कि उत्तराखंड के लोकल हैं, और एक बाहर के हैं।
जी सर।
तो अब इस बेसिस पे आपको डिसाइड करना है कि आपको किन का चयन करना है, ठीक है। इम्पार्शियलिटी इसमें इम्पॉर्टेंट है। बताइए
सर, अगर हम बाकी सारे पैरामीटर सेम हैं, सारे एक्सपीरियंस एंड एवरीथिंग जो भी हमारा पैरामीटर्स होंगे, अगर वो सारे सेम हो रहे हैं तो हम फिर बेटर मैं उसको जो उत्तराखंड का नेटिव है वहाँ से उसको चयन करना चाहूँगा, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है वो अगर वहाँ का नेटिव है तो वहाँ की प्रॉब्लम्स को ज़्यादा बेहतर तरीके से जानता होगा और समझ पाएगा और अल्टीमेटली आगे डिसीजंस ले पाएगा।
आपको नहीं लगता कि अगर जैसे हम इम्पार्शियलिटी को जब एक इम्पॉर्टेंट क्राइटेरिया बता रहे हैं तो इसमें ऐसा हो सकता है कि जो स्थानीय निवासी है उसका कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट हो?
सर, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट हो सकता है, बट ये जो ड्यूटी है, ये जो रोल है, इसमें एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है। अगर हमने बाकी सब पैरामीटर्स जज कर लिए हैं और ट्रेनिंग भी हम कराएंगे तो मेरे को लगता है कि वो चीज़ इशू नहीं आना चाहिए। और ऐसे ही कोई बाहर का भी है तो हो सकता है कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट
सब भी हो सकता है। ठीक है दक्ष, आपका इंटरव्यू पूरा होता है, आप जा सकते हैं।
थैंक यू मैम।
So next, please come in. Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
Daksh, this is going to be your first interview in Uttarakhand PCS?
Yes, sir, Uttarakhand. I have given one interview in UP PCS.
In UP PCS. How was the score?
In the UP PCS, sir, it was about 53%.
53%. In terms of numbers, out of 100?
Sir, I do not remember but it was about 50.
But according to you, was it a fair assessment of your interview, or you felt that you got the
Uttar Pradesh, sir?
Yes.
Sir, I think so. No, at that time, I a bit of panicked because one after another he asked questions, sir, and at the entry only he asked questions, and 4 to 5 questions he asked from mechanical starting only, and I didn't know any of those. So I think I got a bit panicked after not knowing 4 to 5 questions continuously starting. So after that also, the general question, the opinion-based question, I thought I was not able to answer as much I could have been able to.
Okay. Daksh, and how was your experience today?
Sir, it was very good.
See, our assessment is you are a very good candidate. You have a very pleasing personality, and you speak very softly. I think the board will like to engage with you. We have few suggestions only. When is your interview date?
Sir, 20th.
20th. Okay, you have some time. Okay. So, see, one thing you must do is be well aware about the current affairs of Uttarakhand at national level and also international, right?
Yes.
We did not ask you much about international, but yes, it can be asked, about the Gaza violence and so many other issues like India-Maldives tensions and so on.
Yes.
So, you should be prepared on that. Starting with your posture, voice, communication, everything is fine. I only felt that maybe the hand placement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can keep it like this.
Okay. Yeah, like
that is more formal. But in case you have hand movement, though it was not much, so you can always lock your hands.
Yes.
Then it is important that in an interview, you realize that the communication is unequal. So this side, always you have to yield the floor to them.
Yes.
So as soon as even if you are saying something, maybe you are in the process of answering, but a question is asked from this side, a different question, you must stop.
Yes.
Okay. You should yield the floor to the board. Okay. So it happened few times that when I wanted to ask, you were continuing with your answer. Okay. So try to make sure that this doesn't happen there. Huh?
Yes, sir.
And also one more thing, that keep your answers short, to the point.
Yes.
Right? What has been asked, you must try to answer that only. Okay. Then your tie knot also, maybe you can just see. Okay. It should be it's little wider.
Okay,
and
sir.
It should be towards the touching the collar button. Huh?
Okay, sir.
Then at the very end, when the interview was ended, so you say thank you, and then you left, and then from the door you again say thank you. You don't do that. Once you have said thank you from here, then you just walk out of the door. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So these are the basic things. Rest of the things are very much in order. You have a unique hobby about big cats.
Yes.
So you should be aware about the programs, maybe Project Tiger, Project Lion, then the tiger numbers.
Yes.
Okay. Then what are the challenges, because Uttarakhand also has like a lot of important tiger reserves. Okay. So the total number, International Big Cat Alliance announced by India, the cheetah reintroduction program. Okay. Why we are having lions only in Gir? Why not maybe for safety purpose have their population at some other place also?
Yes.
Yeah, all these questions may be asked, so you should be ready with your answers. Okay, very specific hobby, so you should like we were not very pleased with how you answered. Okay, your answers could be more refined.
In the hobby section,
Yes,
or generally?
hobby section. Okay, otherwise you answered well. Like most of the questions, in fact, the last situational question also, I think your logic was fine. Okay. Though my point of emphasizing on impartiality aspect was that I wanted you to focus on that also. But I think you said that with training and all that, we'll ensure that nothing of this sort happens. Right? Conflict of interest doesn't happen.
Yes.
Okay. So it was very well handled. So we wish you all the very best. Daksh, you should get selected with a very good rank. Interview should not be stopping you. ठीक है, होपफुली यू हैव डन वेल इन योर मीन्स. ओके, ऑल द बेस्ट.
सर एक डाउट था सर, ये जो ड्रेस है मैं कंफर्म करना चाहता था, थोड़ी लूज है या परफेक्ट, मतलब ठीक है, ड्रेस इज ओके?
मुझे तो ठीक लग रही है.
ब्लेजर आई एम फाइंडिंग लिटिल लूज.
That's why I was asking, ma'am. Sometimes someone is saying it's a bit
थोड़ा लूज है, थोड़ा.
हाँ, तो अगर आप इसको थोड़ा और फिटिंग का ले लेंगे तो, या इसको ही थोड़ा वो
ऑल्टर
करा लेंगे, ऑल्टर ना, तो अच्छा रहेगा. मतलब ओवरऑल पर्सनैलिटी बहुत अच्छी है.
ठीक है. थैंक यू.
ऑल द बेस्ट.
थैंक यू.